Hi, Philip. Welcome to my garden.
Hey, good to be here, Renee.
I'd love to show you around if you're interested.
Yeah, please, let's go in.
Let's take a look.
Got some real healthy asparagus plants here going.
They are healthy, even though they're a little bit wind-blown right now.
Yeah.
They don't seem to stay upright, even though I tried to tie them together with some tie wraps. That did not work.
Right. They
But
definitely
they're
want to flop.
happy. They're happy either way.
Yeah, but your strawberry plants are right on time, you know.
They are, yeah. For early May, they're producing pretty well this year. I have a few varieties. I've got some ever-bearing and then some June-bearing.
And do you treat them as perennials?
I do treat them as perennials. All of these were actually transplanted from my old garden up in the field.
Oh, wow.
Over
Yeah.
here. And so I've had these guys for a few years now. And of course, strawberries make runners. I will divide them each year, but I keep the original ones. And if there are empty spots, I'll fill in with runners, or I'll make new strawberry beds and give it away to people. And
Yeah, well, they definitely look happy.
yeah.
So it looks like you've got onions over here.
I do. I have some red onions. My husband is a huge fan of them. The first row here are actually from some red onions that I had last year that kind of got forgotten in the bottom of a box.
As they do.
Yeah, and they sprouted roots, and I can't throw anything away with healthy roots.
It looks like someone's been grazing in here. I see you have a fence.
I do have a fence. I have a fence to keep all the big critters out, the dogs most of all, the rabbits, the deer. But you're right, somebody has been grazing on these, and that's my youngest son.
Oh, really? On the onions?
He comes in here and he will just pick off big old fat chunks of onion greens, and he will walk through the garden and eat it like it's candy. It's the funniest thing, but it's good for him.
Right, that's wonderful.
So
yeah.
if that's how he gets his vegetables, then
You know what?
I'm not complaining.
That's great. Yeah. It looks like your peas are just starting to come into bloom here.
Yeah, the peas are starting to bloom. I'm very excited about that. And these are sugar snap peas.
Okay, wonderful.
I've tried a variety of different peas before, and it seems like the family prefers the sugar snap. So I didn't even bother putting anything else in except for those ones.
And what do we, chives?
I have
here?
some chives, and these chives are old. They are also from the original garden in the field. And then I've got some carrots as well.
Yeah, so the root crops do pretty well in here?
The root crops do really well in here. I've had a lot of success with carrots, surprisingly, because I wasn't really sure how that would work with the raised bed only being a certain level. But I've had some monster carrots come out of this, and the kids just love it because they're really big and fat and tall.
Yeah.
So yeah, it works just fine. I've had beets in here.
Wonderful, yeah.
So
I do see a huge plot of potatoes. Can we go look at that?
sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So yeah, it looks like you've got some really full beds of potatoes here.
I do, yes.
Then they do well in these raised beds?
They do really well. It might be surprising to some people that you can grow potatoes in a raised bed, but I've done it for a couple of years in a row now, and it's been very successful.
Yeah.
I have tried growing potatoes in a big 55-gallon plastic drum.
Right, kind of the mounding thing.
Mound it up, and the actual potato plant ended up being taller than I was. And when it came time for me to harvest it, I dumped everything out, and I was disappointed by the amount of potatoes that were in there,
Really?
being that I had mounded it up and everything. So I get a lot of potatoes in the raised beds like this, even though I don't mound it because there's not really enough space or room to build it up.
Right.
You do get a lot of potatoes out this way.
Yeah, what varieties are we growing here?
I have a Yukon Gold, and then I have some russet potatoes.
Your greenhouse is beautiful. Can we take a look
Thank you.
at that?
Of course, yeah, let's go.
Let's go in there.
Sure.
So we're here in your wonderful homemade greenhouse?
Yes, it's completely custom built by my dad and my husband. I have been bugging him for years for a greenhouse, a glass greenhouse, and all the windows in here are repurposed.
Great.
I had gone to window companies that would otherwise just take them to the dump and throw them out, and I took them, and here they are.
Yeah.
And it's perfect. I love it.
Yeah, and it allows you to start, I see a bunch of melons here.
Yeah, we love watermelon. We love melon. They're gonna go out here in the field.
Okay, right.
Whenever they're grown up.
They probably get way too big for their raised beds.
They do get big. I've had them in the raised beds before, and some of them did okay, some of them didn't, but they tend to get out of control and grow over everything else. And then they get into the grass part, and I have to lift them up or mow around them, and it's a lot of work, and if they don't produce, then it's all for nothing. So they're going out into the field this year.
That's good. That's where they've got space to ramble.
Yeah,
and
they'll
really take over.
they'll be happy there. So
yeah.
But I'm also growing my sweet potato over here.
Oh, right, that's
yeah,
sweet
right
potato.
here, my sweet potato.
Uh-huh.
And it's making its little babies that I'll
Yeah,
pick
yeah.
off and put out in the field
I
when
was gonna
it's
say,
ready.
you'll put that there out in
Yeah.
the field too?
Mhm,
Yeah, they definitely get huge.
Yeah.
And need some space to go.
Yeah.
So.
Sweet potatoes are a lot of fun.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've got a really nice orchard started out here.
Thank you.
What kind of trees do you have?
I have a little bit of everything. I've got 3 different apple varieties. I've got pears, peaches, plums, cherries,
Wonderful. Yeah.
apricots, some grapes. So, you know, I wanted an orchard, I wanted everything, and I bought it all at once.
Yeah.
Stuck it in the ground without having a clue of what I was doing. But I've definitely learned through the years.
Right, right. Well, a saying I always hear is the best time to plant a tree is 10 years ago. So
yes, I know
go
that
ahead and
saying.
do it now.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
They take a while to get established. My apple trees actually bloomed for the first time this year.
Oh,
and they've
wonderful.
got little baby apples on them, so I'm super excited about having
Yeah.
apples finally after waiting for so long.
Well, I've had a wonderful time, and you're a very enthusiastic gardener.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful having you here, and you guys are welcome to come back anytime.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel, and like us on Facebook.